February, the shortest month, the month of Valentine's Day, and for America, the month designated as Black History Month. A time for reflection, a time for celebration, but is it enough? Is it a genuine acknowledgement of the Black American experience? Or has it become a perfunctory, even uncomfortable ritual? Black History Month exists in a strange paradox. It is celebrated, yet questioned. It is meant to uplift, yet it often exposes the deep wounds of the past. It seeks to educate, yet often falls short of revealing the full, unvarnished truth. The very existence of Black History Month begs the question, why is it necessary to relegate the history of an entire people to a single month? Is this a genuine attempt to engage with the complexities of Black history, or is it merely a form of virtue signaling, a way to appease guilt without enacting real change? These are not easy questions, but they are questions that America must confront. The roots of Black History Month run deep. In 1926, Carter G. Woodson, a scholar and the son of former slaves, established Negro History Week. His aim was simple, yet profound, to insert the often ignored contributions of Black Americans into the historical narrative. He chose the second week of February to coincide with the birthdays of Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass, two figures who loomed large in the struggle for Black liberation. This strategic choice underscored the inextricable link between Black history and American history. Over time, the week expanded into a month. In 1976, President Gerald Ford officially recognized Black History Month, urging Americans to seize the opportunity to honor the too often neglected accomplishments of Black Americans in every area of endeavor throughout our history. But has this recognition translated into a sincere attempt at understanding? Black History Month is often met with a wave of performative gestures. Corporations adorn their logos with Pan-African colors. Schools hold assemblies featuring sanitized versions of Black history. Politicians deliver speeches praising civil rights icons. But how much of this is genuine engagement and how much is merely virtue signaling? Are these institutions truly committed to dismantling systemic racism, or are they simply trying to appease a segment of their consumer base? The uncomfortable truth is that many institutions benefit from the very systems of oppression that Black History Month seeks to highlight. Until these systems are dismantled, the celebrations can ring hollow, a form of symbolic appeasement rather than substantive change. For some, Black History Month evokes not celebration, but discomfort. The mere mention of systemic racism, of redlining and mass incarceration is met with resistance. It is easier to focus on the sanitized narratives of the past, to celebrate the victories of the civil rights movement without acknowledging the ongoing struggle. This discomfort stems from a reluctance to confront the ugliness of America's past and the ways in which that past continues to shape the present. It is a discomfort rooted in white privilege, in the fear of losing power and status. But true reconciliation requires honesty. It demands that we acknowledge the pain and trauma inflicted on Black Americans, not just in the distant past, but in the here and now. And Black History Month often focuses on a particular narrative, the narrative of integration, of Black Americans slowly but surely gaining acceptance within the existing power structures. This narrative, while important, can also be limiting. It tends to emphasize figures like Martin Luther King Jr. and Rosa Parks, individuals who advocated for change through non-violent means. While their contributions are undeniable, focusing solely on this aspect of Black history risks obscuring the full spectrum of Black resistance. What about the Black Panthers, who demanded economic justice and self-determination? What about the countless Black activists and intellectuals who challenged white supremacy in all its forms? And what about the myriad of enslaved people rising up against their masters and ultimately changing history through their efforts before and during the Civil War? By omitting these voices, Black History Month runs the risk of pacifying a narrative that has always been about far more than just integration. Can we truly encapsulate the richness and complexity of Black history within a single month? Black history is not a separate entity, a footnote in the grand narrative of America. It is interwoven into the very fabric of this nation, from its economic foundations to its cultural and political landscape. To confine it to February is to imply that it is somehow less important, less central to the American story. It perpetuates the idea that Black history is something to be acknowledged once a year rather than a lens through which to view the entirety of American history. Yet, abolishing Black History Month altogether presents its own set of problems. Without this dedicated time, however inadequate, would the already limited attention given to Black history dwindle even further. The debates surrounding Black History Month are not confined to the past. They are playing out in real time in classrooms and courtrooms, in state legislatures and corporate boardrooms. The push for diversity, equity and inclusion initiatives is met with fierce resistance. Critics decry these efforts as reverse racism, arguing that they unfairly disadvantage white Americans. These arguments, often cloaked in the language of colorblindness, are nothing new. They are echoes of the same rhetoric used to oppose desegregation and voting rights. The struggle over how we remember and teach history is a microcosm of the larger struggle for racial justice in America. The limitations of Black History Month point to a larger need, the need to integrate Black history into the teaching of American history year-round. This is not about erasing American history, but about expanding it, about telling a more inclusive and accurate story. It means teaching about the transatlantic slave trade, not as a side note, but as a foundational element of the American economy. It means teaching about the contributions of Black artists, writers, and musicians, not in isolation, but as integral threads in the tapestry of American culture. It means teaching about the ongoing struggle for racial justice, from the Civil Rights Movement to the Black Lives Matter movement, not as an aberration, but as a continuation of a centuries-long fight for equality. And it means teaching yourself to not take history for granted. Black History Month, for all its flaws and limitations, remains a necessary step in the journey toward racial justice. It provides a platform for amplifying Black voices, for celebrating Black excellence, for educating ourselves and future generations, but it cannot be the destination. The true measure of progress will be when the stories and experiences of Black Americans are fully woven into the fabric of American history, not just during the month of February, but every single day of the year. Until then, the work continues. If you liked this video, then please like, share, and subscribe. And please don't hesitate to leave a comment. Thanks for watching.